I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. Yes, we're rolling, dude. This is a quick start, right? Let's keep the energy going. How are you doing, my man?
I'm so good. I didn't know we were rolling yet. All right. No, I'm great. I'm excited to record another episode. And yeah, I'm great. How are you?
It's a great
energy.
Yeah, I'm doing well, dude. Yeah. First of all, my name is Flo.
Mm-hmm. My name is Gabe.
Thank you. I almost forgot. That's why I'm asking. We're back to doing like another regular episode. Mm-hmm. This is the first one after our first special episode. And I hope you enjoyed that one. We certainly did. It's always fun to sort of get to talk about some older stuff and Brad Pitt movies. That was a good topic. And yeah, today we're just going to talk about the best thing that we've seen, like the regular show. All right. So, how was your week, dude? How's it been? What have you been up to?
Nothing.
It's riveting stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's great. No, I've been to some parties.
Sure.
Because I'm cool, dude.
Yeah.
No.
What sort of parties did you go to?
A colleague of mine quit where I work.
So
we had kind of a goodbye party, and the next day there was a housewarming party, and
whose housewarming party?
No one you know.
No one you know. Another colleague. Okay.
A good friend. But yeah, so I'm kind of tired.
Right.
From I don't know the weekend. How's your week?
Living the youngster life, right?
Yeah. But I feel like I'm 80, so
yeah, I can understand that, dude. Even though you're even younger than I am.
Yeah.
I'm not even young anymore. Yeah, dude, my week, I don't even know. I've had a quiet weekend because sort of, things are happening in the world. You sort of want to stay healthy. Don't want to risk things, which is perfect because yeah.
I lick all the pavements.
I know you do, but yeah, even more than you usually do.
Yeah.
Right? So
I build up that immune system.
It seems to be working for you.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time we're recording this, we're like a day away from entering the health hazard that is the what's it called? Like a big venue that we're both going to work at. What's it called? Like how do you a messe?
A big convention. I don't know.
A convention. That sounds like a good word. So yeah,
we shouldn't bash our employers. It's great. We're so happy to be there.
We're not bashing them. Probably going to cut this part anyway.
Hazard. We really should. Let's move on.
Dude, we're releasing this the day after we're done. Right. We are.
But I want to work the next year.
All right. Cut this part out.
All right. So, because you had this special episode last week, how happy are you with your list? Would you like to change anything in retrospect?
Yeah, I think we have to do it again next week.
Yeah?
Because, yeah. I've seen 10 other films that I want to...
Okay. All by Brad Pitt?
Yes. Seen some YouTube stuff. It's riveting.
You finally seen a Friends episode where he...
Yes, I've seen the one Friends episode, and I'm going to reevaluate my number one.
Right.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with it, dude. I haven't really been thinking about it too much because like the first 5 films were pretty set for me from the get-go, and I'm happy with the list. Did you think about it? Did you want to make some changes?
I think I thought about changing the latter half, but I thought, I don't know, I'm very happy with the top 5, and that's, I think, the most important part.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And right, so before we get into the show, there was one film that we were meaning to watch this week that we haven't been able to, which is The Invisible Man. Mm-hmm. I don't know, have you heard something about it? Have you heard good stuff or bad stuff, or are you interested in that film?
I heard it's pretty good, and my brother actually wrote me if I want to go see it with him this week, which I sadly can't, because I'm also going to watch it with you next week, hopefully.
Sadly, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you, dude.
No, but he told me he heard it's kind of like Gone Girl, so he's really excited.
It's supposed to be really scary, which is worrying.
Yeah, sure, but if it's half as scary if you're there, I know, in a cinema with some friends, as
watching it alone.
Yeah,
I guess it's one of those films that I wouldn't watch at home. I think I'm just sort of looking forward to the cinematic experience. Yeah.
I recently tried watching The Haunting on Hill House.
Oh,
and I heard it's great, so I started watching it.
I love how you say you try to watch it. Yeah.
I started like 2 a.m. because I can't really sleep lately until like 4 a.m. So I started watching it, and after about 5 minutes in, I turned off because I don't know, I didn't want to risk not sleeping tonight.
Because it's so scary.
This, yeah. Nothing happened while
Right.
I was watching it. I know something's gonna happen. I'm not gonna be there for it.
Makes you look like a real manly
Yeah,
man.
I'm not that opposed to horror films, actually. Like some horror films, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're more of a fan than I am.
Yeah, but I don't know. Not at 2 a.m. when I'm
I can understand
already
that.
tired.
That's one of those shows. I've heard good stuff from everyone who's like into horror, but I will never ever watch that show.
The thing is about horror, I know when you watch a movie, it's like, I don't know, 1.5 hours, 2 hours long, and then you're done with it.
Yeah.
With a show, I can't start and then not finish it.
Yeah, that's the problem with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I'm like the exact opposite, because a movie is like 2 hours, but an episode is like 40 minutes. So it's easy. But a show for you is like watching 10 episodes.
Yeah, it is. I started watching Vikings. And now I'm in almost season 3. And I started like 3 days ago.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't even think it's that great. I just can't stop.
Right. So that's not going to be your best thing that you've seen, right?
No.
Judging.
I've seen a lot of shows lately, but first of all, they didn't come out that recently, and I didn't think they're that great.
Right.
No, one is, but
yeah,
it's been too long.
So let's get into the show. So do you want to tell them how the show works?
Yeah, if you're new to this, we're both going to tell you the best thing that we've seen lately and tell you why we liked it. And yeah, that's pretty much the show. It can be, what do we choose to talk about? Can be either be, I don't know, movie, TV show, some video, any kind of visual medium.
Painting.
Yeah. I love that joke.
It's the first running gag of our show, which is great.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right.
So sit back, relax, and I don't know, eat some popcorn.
Sure. All right. So do you want me to start off, right? We talked about it before. All right. So I want to talk about two things. Obviously, the second thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be the best thing that I've seen. And I just want to... The second thing, yes. Right. I just want to give a quick mention to the first thing, which is a video that has been released on YouTube recently. And as you know, and we talked about it a couple of times, I'm going to be interested in hearing if you have actually seen this video, because I'm pretty sure that you will have. Knives Out, right, is one of my favorite films of the last couple of years. And there's been a new video on YouTube recently where the director sort of gives an insight on the making of the film. It's
like a director breaks down a scene.
It's like that, but it's like it's basically there's like a couple of different outlets on YouTube that released videos like that. I think the one that I'm talking about is a Vanity Fair one. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure if it's like the breakdown of a scene or is it just him giving notes, or but it's the director is Ryan Johnson. He explains the making of the film of the scene where Chris Evans' character first arrives at the house, and and he eats the biscuits and he tells them to eat shit and stuff. And he breaks down how he shot that scene and every little detail in it. And it's like a 24-minute video.
I actually saw that one.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I just saw the thumbnail.
Right. Yeah. And the good thing about this video, obviously I'm interested in the video because of the film, but the director really gives a great insight into how the movie was made. And it sort of made me appreciate the movie even more, because things that look really, really easy to make sort of aren't, right? The easiest shots are just the simplest shots are sort of the ones that maybe take way more time and effort than you could ever think of. And he talked about like his cinematographer or his editor, I can't remember now. He's like adding filters because they shot it on like digitally, not on film, but they added like filters to it that even the window reflection sort of resembles the one of actual film, where he actually like wrote a code that he put over the thing, and it made it look like film, which is just, stuff that goes way over my head, but it's really, really interesting. And I think I don't know. Are you watching those kind of videos regularly?
Yeah, sometimes. Like I recently watched Joe the Rabbit breakdown with Taika Waititi and Stephen Merchant.
Right. Is that that's the one where they like write on the thing, right? I think then that's the one I'm talking about as well, because he also writes on the tablet, whatever it is.
But the one I saw with Taika Waititi was not such a in-depth look at what actually happens. A lot of horsing around between him and Stephen Merchant. Mm-hmm. I got that word from BoJack Horseman. Yeah, but yeah, I do love seeing those kind of videos, and it's those attentions to detail that you just mentioned that I know go unnoticed, but subconsciously I know you makes you appreciate the movie, and I know makes you enjoy what you see.
Yeah. I think it always depends on the person who sort of breaks down the scene, because there are episodes where it's like he just rattles stuff off that you know, and there's nothing new there, and he just sort of talks about the scene, and he talks about the CGI effects there, and you're like, okay, yeah, I didn't really learn anything. But then other times you really get to sort of get a great glimpse behind the camera. And Rian Johnson, I think the great thing, he enjoys talking about his film because he had so much fun making it, and that sort of comes across when he talks about the film as well. And this was one of my favorite like breakdowns of a scene YouTube videos that I've seen, and I can highly recommend that, especially if you've seen Knives Out. If you haven't, then that's another recommendation. But if you have seen the film, then check that out on YouTube. It's great. Yeah. But the best thing that I've seen this week was a film that I've actually now seen twice. Because you're smiling because you know what I'm going to talk about. I got to see this film back in September at the Toronto Film Festival, and now it was at the sneak preview again. The last time we were, and I know you couldn't make it last time. So have you seen it by now? I
wanted to see it yesterday, but instead of
the Invisible Man. Yeah. Okay. So the movie. The movie I'm talking about is Just Mercy. Just Mercy is a justice/courtroom drama starring Jamie Foxx, Michael B. Jordan, and Brie Larson. And the story is about Michael B. Jordan. He plays a young lawyer who's called Brian Stevenson, and he is based on a true story, and it's about him trying to prove the innocence of a man put on death row, played by Jamie Foxx. And they sort of work together in trying to figure out what happened, how he got put on death row innocently. And the film is sort of about Michael B. Jordan talking to the family of the victim and trying to figure out what was going on. And then obviously he talks to a lot of other inmates as well, and it's not just about Jamie Foxx's character. His job is basically to help people on death row trying to prove their innocence. And what I love about the film is that it's like 2 hours 10 movie or something like that. And what I noticed the second time that I watched it was how well paced it is, because it really doesn't feel like it's a 2 hour 10-minute movie. I know that you're not the biggest fan of the courtroom drama thing.
No, I was about to say it kind of sounds a movie made for you, because you're a fan of Brie Larson's acting, and that's why I said acting. And you're a big courtroom drama fan.
That I am for sure, yeah. With Brie Larson, the first thing that I've seen from her was Room, and that movie.
Short Term 12, actually, right?
I think I saw that after I saw Room.
Okay.
I think so. But that's another great example, yeah. And both of those films, I thought she was just amazing. Like, gave amazing performances, and I loved both of those films. But over the last couple of years, I've not been the biggest fan of her. And having said that,
didn't have that bigger roles since then. I feel like
she's had Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I know, but she's had more of those action roles like Captain Marvel or Kong Skull Island or something like that. Nothing that really, brought out her acting skills like Short Term 12 or Room did.
It's a good point. What else has she been in? Do you remember? Is there anything else that we're missing?
I'm sure there is, like the Glass Castle. What it was called?
Right, it's from the same director as Just Mercy.
Oh, okay.
And Short Term 12. See, that's maybe an endorsement for you.
I'm not a big fan of Glass Castle.
But he did Short Term 12 as well.
Oh, so?
Yeah.
What?
Short Term 12? No, not Room.
I thought the guy who made Room was the same guy who made Short Term 12.
No.
Okay.
No. Room was made by Lenny Abramson.
Okay.
Short Term 12 was made by Destin Daniel Cretton.
All right.
And he did The Glass Castle.
Okay.
And he's now doing Just Mercy.
All right.
So he's had a couple of films with Brie Larson.
Okay.
And maybe that, I know you're interested in the film, right? Even though you're not like into the courtroom dramas as much, you want to see the film.
I heard it's a good film, and I do like Jamie Foxx. And now Michael B. Jordan is kind of an up-and-coming actor.
Yeah.
He's had some cool performances.
For sure.
But I don't know, it's no comparison to Jamie Foxx, who is...
But he's had a much longer
some great
career.
roles, yeah.
Yeah. But Michael B.
Much
Jordan,
longer.
he's one of those like younger actors that is... He has like a really impressive catalog, I think. Because he's worked with... I think his breakthrough was Fruitvale Station, which is from the same guy who did Black Panther. And he's great in that, and he's sort of... I think he's always been rather good. I'm just looking up what Brie Larson's been in recently. You have Captain Marvel, yeah. She's been in Basmati Blues.
Sure.
It's a movie that has a 3.5 rating on IMDb. It's on my watch list, but I think it's on my watch list because it's supposed to be so freaking bad. Came out in 2017.
All right.
I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Then she did Unicorn Store, which you've seen that I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's all right.
Which she directed.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
No, it's all right. But it's kind of a weird movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then here we go. All right, here we go. She did The Glass Castle. She did Kong Skull Island. Then she did Free Fire.
Which
I
I
loved. One of the worst
yeah.
movies I've ever seen.
I loved it, yeah. I know very few people who actually liked it.
Everyone loved it that we watched it with. Who?
Bing
Max.
wasn't a huge fan either. I don't know if Olga
Max
was.
loved it. Steven loved it.
Okay. I watched with my brother and with Celine. They both hated it. Oh, well, I hated
You watched it with us, didn't you?
Yeah, in the cinema. And then I watched it again when I got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I always felt like I was the only person who didn't like it, but yeah, and that's then
The great performance by what's it called, the South African actor
Sharlto Copley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not like that. But yeah, and then we're in Room, and then she did stuff before that, obviously. But I actually kind of liked her in Just Mercy because I think it's one of her most subdued roles in a while. Like she's not that. She doesn't seem to be attention seeking, and she didn't. I'm not saying that
it's a real problem with Room. She's a real attention seeker. That one.
No, I'm not saying that she usually like seeks attention in every scene, but I liked her performance in Just Mercy.
I got it.
Especially because it's a really small role as well, and I think it's kind of cool that she takes a small role to tell an important story. And I mean, she's an Academy Award winning actress. I think she could have done, or she could like say that she wouldn't do the film if she hadn't like, or if she doesn't have a specific amount of screen time. And she's really very much a side character in Just Mercy. It's very much about the two male actors who are both great. I mean, Jamie Foxx is sort of my highlight of the film. He's really, really good, and he plays the desperation.
Amazing mustache. No
He does a ridiculous beard, yeah. A really good beard, yeah. So yeah, obviously I don't want to go into spoilers, but we talked about it on one of our episodes where we talked about Harriet and then the text at the end. If you remember that conversation, I just want to say that again. The end of Just Mercy, it's sort of you get additional information, and it's really, really like impressive, and it's heartwarming, but also like shocking. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope I get to see it next week.
Yeah. All right, dude. You take over. I've said enough. What have you seen this week?
It's kind of a tough choice. Well, we also saw together in the cinema So We Missed You, which was a very good film, especially in, I don't know, Ken Loach has kind of this ability to show you very personal stories on a small scale. He's a British director who's done pretty much exclusively British films, so he's not like many others joined the Hollywood crowd. He still does these very small pictures with very impactful stories. It's a very, very tough story about a father who joins a delivery company and has to work really hard, and he's got problems at home. He doesn't know how to handle both his work life and his private life since he has to work too much. So that's kind of a recommendation. But it's talking about the best thing we've seen, or I've seen, because what I've seen just from looking at it, it's not so stupid. Well, I saw The Missing Link, which is now on Netflix, which came out about 7 months ago in cinemas in Austria.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying this...
Missing Link.
The Missing Link. Yeah, Missing Link. Just Missing Link. Yeah.
The animation.
Yeah. Which is a stop-motion film from Leica, which it's the same company who made Kubo and the Two Strings, which is a film that we both saw together, and we both had a very similar opinion.
Yes.
It wasn't very great. We weren't a big fan of the humor, but we thought it was beautifully made.
Yes.
Same thing here. I thought the story was quite bland, and I think
What is the story? I actually don't know.
an adventurer voiced by Hugh Jackman wants to join a adventurers club or something in late 1900s. Sorry.
Mhm.
And so what he wants to do is prove that Bigfoot is real.
Okay.
So he goes out and he finds Bigfoot. He gets a letter and he finds Bigfoot, and Bigfoot is the one who sent him the letter and saying he wants him to help him find his family. And that's the whole film.
And that's the character voiced by
Zach Galifianakis.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Genau.
Check that out.
Again, this muss noch mit das rein. Okay. And that's the character who's voiced by
Zach
Zach
Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
Yeah, right.
Genau.
Yeah, so that's like the first 10 minutes of the film. But again, just like Kubo and the Two Strings, I thought the story was quite bland and the humor was more miss than anything else.
Right.
It felt, I don't know, there are a lot of great animation films made for children, but not exclusively. Like, I don't know, Toy Story. It got a very deep and emotional story, so it's a great film also for adults.
Mm-hmm.
But that film looked so sophisticated and looked so incredibly beautifully because it was shot frame by frame, and they had these dolls they carved
Which
by
one now?
hand and painted.
Missing Link.
Missing Link,
Okay.
right. And incredibly beautiful. And I watched a behind the scenes video of how they did some of these scenes, and they had these huge sets with those, 20 centimeters high dolls, and then they had this huge train prop which they could push so it looked like it was moving, and then they did it in front of a green screen so they could animate the background. And all these little bags and all these little props, they did a lot of them by hand or carved them and put them in different places, so it looks like a really lived in scene, which is incredible attention to detail, which is so beautiful, which I'd say it's the best thing I've seen just visually. Incredibly beautifully, incredible. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you're into, I don't know, animation or stop motion or anything like that, I think it's worth a watch. I think it's just for the visuals, it's amazing.
And you said it's just been released on Netflix.
Yeah, like a week ago or something like that. But it's, story-wise, it's very disappointing.
I've seen like the trailer. I think I haven't, or maybe just a scene, because there's one scene that I have in mind, and that's where he chucks over stuff, like over a wall.
That's kind of a repeating joke because he takes everything too literally.
Right. And I thought that was funny.
I've
only seen that one.
the first time, but he does this joke about 20 times throughout the movie, which is the problem. A lot of the jokes they do are repeated so often that you get so sick of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, if you're, like I said, into those kind of things, just watching it, it's so beautiful, and maybe even better than just watching the films. Watch the behind the scenes videos.
Right. No, I can understand that for sure.
Weird recommendation, but yeah, just seeing how they did all these little strands of hair on him and all these things and how they made him move, and yeah, that's the best thing I've seen recently. Recently. Yeah, like I said, it came out about 7 months ago now.
Yeah, I think it won the Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature. Yeah.
I know. It's hard to say if it deserved it because animation-wise, I think it did.
I think it won the Globe, but then the Academy Award went to Toy Story 4.
Yeah, which is kind of a safe bet.
So you enjoyed Toy Story 4 more than Missing Link? Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think out of all the animated features nominated this year, I enjoyed Toy Story the most.
Yeah?
And I think now I've seen all of them, yeah.
Klaus? Oh, you weren't that big of a fan, yeah. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But I haven't
Klaus
seen
had some of the same problems as Missing Link did with
the humor?
Yeah.
It worked for me.
I think Klaus does work better than Missing Link.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
I can't compare the two, but yeah. What else has been out? Like, what were the like big animated films last year?
I Lost My Body was a big one.
Right, but that was like on Netflix as well, right? Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's a beautiful film, but I don't know, I'm a big
Frozen
fan.
You didn't like that?
No.
I haven't seen it.
I wasn't a huge fan of Frozen 1 either. So
I thought you loved Frozen 1.
No.
You were like
I always
running
said-
out to see Frozen 2.
No, I always thought that Frozen I always thought it was quite overrated.
Oh, I completely mixed up that. I thought you loved the first one.
No.
Well, maybe you
I
liked
want to
it a
see
lot.
to see it. I thought maybe.
Right.
I don't know. It's a big film.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest princess films, but I don't know.
You
Moana
love
for life.
You love those princess films.
I do actually love Disney princess films. I do love Mulan and Moana and
That's what you decided
Ariel.
to watch after Haunting of Hill House, right?
Yeah.
Nice little princess story to go to bed.
Calm Me Down. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful insight into your life.
To my brain.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Have you seen anything else, like anything older that you want to talk about?
Yes. No, I told him before that I've seen something really great, but it came out. It came out earlier than we did. Booms. Rim shot. It's even 10 years old than you are, I think.
That's it. Even?
Yeah.
Wow, that says
You're
something. Dude.
ancient, yeah.
Yeah. Came out in the 40s.
Because if you do not have Netflix, now is a great time to subscribe.
Are you sponsored by them? I didn't hear anything
I wish,
about that.
dude. No, because like I think we talked about this before in another episode.
Yes.
I love Studio Ghibli films that are coming out on Netflix. About, I don't know, 7 or something per month. And recently, Nausicaa, the Princess of the Valley of the Nausicaa
There we
from
go.
the Valley
Another
of the Wind.
princess film. Let's strap in, boys.
Dude, while I watched this film, I was like, this is extremely dark take on a Disney princess film.
Okay.
Because it's plays in an apocalyptic world.
Right.
Or post-apocalyptic, I guess. About 10,000 years, I'm sorry, after the world ended. Yeah.
So had you seen that one before?
I have not. Now I've seen all Miyazaki films. This is the last one I was missing.
It was your missing link?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. And it was his first major feature film. And it's after, I think, this film's success that they actually founded Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
And it's incredibly great. It's so good. It's
See
so
his face
freaking
is
good.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Conveys the greatness.
Yeah, because if you watch this film, all this imagery seems so iconic because you feel like you've seen it before. While I saw the film, I noticed a lot of what I saw. I think got kind of reference in other movies, especially there's this toxic forest where no one can go to because there are spores and everybody gets poisoned, and that's why a big part of the world died out. And in this forest, there's these weird creatures and these weird bugs. And the imagery of that, I don't know if maybe Miyazaki got inspired by other artists.
Right.
But I feel it's the oldest thing that I've seen with those kind of creatures and the way they looked.
When did this movie come out? Do you know?
In 1984.
Okay, in the 80s. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And I know it reminded me so much of The Forest and Avatar and other films. And yeah, it's a solid recommendation. Yeah.
Right. So, did you say what it was about? I'm sorry. It was just a
Post-apocalyptic
right, but
film.
about a princess.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was from the Valley of the Wind. And yeah, everything is toxic except in certain parts. Like where she's from, the Valley of the Wind, because they live near the ocean, the wind kind of blows away the spore, so it's safe to breathe there. But everywhere else, you have to wear a gas mask. And
Right.
for a while, there were these, I don't know, big giants or something like that who breathed fire, and then the world was aflame for, I think, 7
A long time.
days or
Okay.
7 years. Something like that.
It's the same thing, right? Yeah.
No. But anyway, and then a ship from another colony crashes there and brings an ancient evil. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
And there are these ohms, they're called, and these are huge bugs who are nearly impossible to kill.
Right.
And if they're provoked, they're incredibly dangerous. So one of the factions wants to burn down all of the toxic forests, but people from the Valley of the Wind think that if you burn down the forest, all the ohms will come and trample everything in sight because they get enraged. And all these bugs have blue eyes, and when they're enraged, they get red eyes and start killing everyone.
Right.
And it's kind of
It's a nice little kids movie.
it is incredibly, it's very gory.
Yeah.
And if you see this movie and you're a fan of Miyazaki, you kind of see some of the influence from this film in other films, like Princess Mononoke, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
if you got time and you're into princess movies,
Yeah. I mean, not as much as you are, but
I noticed that Miyazaki has got some very strong female protagonists, which I think is really cool. Because I think all but like 2 or 3 have male protagonists.
Yeah.
I don't know. Only 2 or 3 have male protagonists. The rest are female. Yeah.
Right. I haven't seen like there's so
have
many.
You seen any of his films? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen like the big 3. I've seen
Which are?
Spirited Away,
Mm-hmm.
Princess Mononoke, and then what's it called? Howl's Flying Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. But if you like, it's been years since I've seen those. Like decades, maybe.
Decades. How many?
Maybe not decades, but 15 years ago.
Okay. Definitely
So,
worth a rewatch.
Yeah.
Those are also my 3 favorites.
Yeah.
Probably. Like the
Would
first
you-
3 that
those
I've
are the
seen.
3 big ones, would you not say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Especially Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke.
Right. Yeah, you can let the audience know. Like, you even have that inked on your body. What is it called? Ghost face?
No face.
Ghost face. That's the guy from Scream, right? Is it?
It's a guy from Call of Duty, isn't he?
Oh, Ghost. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mixing up a couple of things here, but yeah, you have that. You describe it. I can't.
Yeah, I got a tattoo of the mask of No Face, a character from Spirited Away. I hope my grandpa isn't listening.
All right. So I haven't really seen anything older this week.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have anything else to talk about in terms of that. But I was wondering. You said that you watched a lot of shows. A lot of them were bad. What have you been watching?
Not bad. Well,
not good enough.
There are some were good, but none of them came out recently. So nothing I want to.
But we're in like the old
talk
section currently, right? You can talk about
the old
everything.
section. Something that I saw, which
That's a good name for it, right? We're in the old section right now. We're in the ancient section of the podcast.
Yeah. So of all of you who love old and ancient things,
Yes. Things that came out like before the 2000s, right? Like the ancient stuff.
got something that came. It's a show that I think finished in 2016.
Wow, that's pretty old, dude.
It's ancient, yeah. Red Oaks. Have you seen it?
I've not even heard of it.
It's a Amazon Prime show with Craig Roberts in the leading role, who I'm a fan of.
Craig Robertson,
Robertson?
the Afro guy from Oceans.
No, the British nerdy guy from Submarine.
Oh, then I don't know what I know. I have a face,
Yeah,
but I don't know what he's called.
I think Craig Roberts. I don't want to get it wrong. Let me look it up.
Look it up. But Craig Robinson is the
Protagonist.
the guy from
from
Hot Tub Time Machine.
what? I say
The guy I'm
gotcha.
talking about, yeah.
The guy. He's also a recurring character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
There you go.
Yeah. But so let me look this up. Yeah, Craig Roberts.
Right.
And above him is Craig Robinson, who you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, what did I say? Robertson. I don't know what I said. Yeah.
Whatever. No, it's a cool show, and the reason I started watching is because, first of all, I like the main actor, Craig Roberts, and second reason is because it only had 3 seasons, and I love to start watching a season that's already finished because I hate waiting for another season.
Yeah,
I get so tired of these effing.
We've had a fuck before. It's
Yeah,
fine.
okay, right. Of these fucking teasing season finales.
Sort of the fun of it, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, if you can continue watching. I want to see what happened, not
Right.
wait a year, because after a year I don't care anymore.
oh come on, you start to care again, right?
Yeah.
Knowing you're gonna rewatch the season the week before the new season comes out anyway, so then you're
Sometimes.
hyped for it again.
No, but the thing is, I hate watching this kind of shows because I know it's gonna end, and I know it's just gonna make me so impatient. So I don't want to finish it because I know they're gonna build up this huge plot, and I'm gonna be so excited for it to finish.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna finish not this season, maybe not even next season, but in 3 seasons, and I don't know.
But Red Oaks, tell me about it. Who's the princess in that one?
I am.
Feel like one watching it?
It's summer.
I can vividly picture that, dude.
It's a summer resort, and it only plays in the summer. Every season takes place in the summer, and he's a assistant tennis instructor.
So it's like a Harry Potter film where you you only see them when they're off for holidays, and then you don't see them, but then they come back at the beginning of the next season. I got you.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it sounds exciting.
It is. It's not that great. No, I think it has quite a few flaws, especially when you start watching this. But I don't know. I got so sucked in after a while,
right?
And especially after the first season, it gets towards the end of the first season. It just gets, I won't want to say exciting, because not that much actually happens.
Okay,
which I kind of enjoyed.
But is it like a teeny thing? Like
they're all like
coming of age? Sorry,
late. It's in the start of their college years, or at least some of them.
Okay.
The protagonist is, and he kind of gets friends with a lot of other guys. And his dream is to be a director and kind of chase that. And he's at NYU, and then he can't go there anymore, and his parents get divorced. The protagonist. Greg Roberts.
Gotcha.
Roberts, yeah. It's so hard to keep track of all these names.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a ringing endorsement for
it is.
Red Oaks.
Well, a ringing endorsement. I think a lot of people wouldn't like this kind of show.
Right.
But if you're into, I don't know, it's kind of a nice, relaxing, feel-good show. Oh, feel-good.
Yeah.
It does have some more serious moments, but yeah, it's a nice show. You just, I don't know, something to relax with, to unwind with, not too much action yet.
So is it like a 20-minute episode?
Yep.
Okay.
It is. I think. I hope.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. Is that it? Do we have anything else?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I've seen some other shows, but nothing that I would recommend that much. Like,
he's pointing at me for the people who are listening.
I can't think of the name.
Craig Roberts.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, this new show with the girl from It and one of the guys from It.
Stranger Things?
Not Stranger Things.
Oh, the girl. The new show with the girl from It.
Yeah.
What girl are we talking about?
Stanley from It. He's
We're talking
guy
about
with
the young girl.
The young, yeah.
Right.
Not
There's
Jessica
a new
Chastain.
show with the young girl.
Yeah. And the name of the show is...
I think
it's from the same guy who made or wrote the source material of It's the End of the Fucking World. See, we couldn't avoid a fuck.
We couldn't censor that.
Yeah.
It's actually, but isn't he called like F star? Yeah.
Yeah. What's it called, man?
I have no idea. That's a Netflix show, is it?
It is. It's got the first season out, and it's all right. I think it's something that a lot of people would like, but a big problem that I had with it is, which is a mild spoiler.
Here we go.
It's got the same problem that I just mentioned. It just ends with this huge fucking tease.
Yeah, but that's to keep the audience.
I'm not okay with this. It's called. Sorry.
I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
That's the show.
Yeah. It's
or
fun.
is that a comment that you want to say to me?
No. Always.
Always, but yeah. That's okay. I've never even heard of that show. So it's with the girl from It 1 and 2.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, more 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And who else is in that?
Her name is Sophia Lillis. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No one that very famous. Wyatt Olaf, who
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Who played Stanley in It season 1. Season 1.
Which one's Stanley again?
The tall guy with the locks, with the Jew, with the rabbi as a father, who was scared of the woman with the flute.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 But also the kid as well. He's not like the we're
kid.
talking about
in the second one he doesn't have a very big role.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If you remember.
I don't, but I'm assuming he dies. He cuts himself?
He's the one who kills himself at the beginning. He's the one who doesn't come.
I got you. Yep. I remember. I got you.
Yeah.
Very right. Good. You watched the first episode of that, did you say?
Yeah, first season.
All right, but because of the ending, yeah. All right, so that's another ringing endorsement there from Gabe.
Yeah.
It's two shows.
Too much.
Two shows that are terrible.
Right.
Like, that
are all right.
Unsatisfying endings.
Yeah. Well, 2 shows.
Well, the other one was Red Oaks, wasn't it?
No, that one's finished.
Right, but it also had those teasers, right? But you had the ability...
Not that much, which is why it was great.
Okay, I'm sorry. But I thought it wasn't that good. I misunderstood.
No, it's not a great show if you compare it to, I don't know, The Simpsons or... It's a great show.
It's compared to The Simpsons. Yeah.
Or, I don't know, Breaking Bad or something like
Right.
that. It's kind of on a much smaller scale, I'd say.
I got you.
And it's not a sitcom or anything like that, which is kind of refreshing.
Yeah. All right, dude. Let's wrap this up because we got to go.
We do.
We do. Well,
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
we kind of have to leave it at that. Where can they find us, dude? Let's do
My address is... Please come by anytime.
If you want to discuss like the best princess films with Gabe, he's going to give you his address now.
Yep.
Just show up anytime.
On Blu-ray if you want to watch.
For sure.
No, but if you want to see us in a non-stalkery way, you can find us on Twitter or on Anchor, where we got links to all the other platforms where you can now find us. Which is one of them is now Apple Podcasts.
Right. By the time that this episode is up, we should be available on Apple Podcasts,
Finally,
which is
yeah.
exciting. And you can find us on Twitter at
Best Thing Radio.
At Best Thing Radio. You got it. And
Had to think for a second.
yeah. Speaking of Apple Podcasts, it would be really, really lovely if you could leave us a review, a rating, or something like that on iTunes, because that really helps us out. If you have like 2 minutes of your time and you just give it a rating, and I think you just put in like two quick sentences and give us a review, maybe
A positive one, if
I was going to say
possible.
Maybe, but if you can also give us a negative one, whatever we
But preferably positive.
preferably a positive one.
No, that's all right.
That would be nice if you could do that. And yeah, if you have anyone in your circle of friends or anyone that you know who's interested in film, then we'd appreciate it a lot if you just tell them about this podcast and let them know. And we're always excited to have new people listen to the podcast. And we just hope to grow our audience, I guess.
Yeah. And thank you to all of you listening who are still around for episode 5 now.
For sure.
It's been a very positive and exciting surprise to see as many views as we got, which
Listens.
I'm sorry.
This is my favorite running gag. Right?
I will never
Makes
remember
me
this.
sound like a douche. But
It's many listens.
I know it sounds terrible. I know. I'm just saying it because it's funny. In my ears, it's funny.
But yeah, it's been great. And
sure.
we hope we can continue this, and we hope someone's listening, which apparently some people still are.
anyone
So
out there.
thank you to those people.
For sure. Yes. So I guess that's it for this week's episode. Maybe next week. I think next week is going to be another regular one, and maybe after that we'll do another special or something. We'll just
All right.
listen to your feedback, and thank you again for listening. And
Excited
see
for
you
next week. Yeah.
for next week.
Next week.
We'll see you.
Dude, I love next week.
We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.